Let's dive into the latest developments from Donald Trump's campaign trail, where he once again made waves with his provocative comments, this time targeting Vice President Kamala Harris during a rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. As many of you know, Trump is no stranger to stirring controversy, and this recent event is a prime example of how he continues to dominate the news cycle, often by veering off the expected script and engaging in rhetoric that some find humorous while others find deeply troubling. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button like this video and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. At this particular rally, Trump kicked off his remarks by referencing Kamala Harris's recent appearance on the cover of Time magazine. Rather than sticking to the standard campaign talking points, Trump took an unexpected detour into the realm of celebrity comparisons. He likened Harris to classic Hollywood icons like Sophia Loren and Elizabeth Taylor, suggesting that the magazine's portrayal of her was overly generous, almost to the point of flattery. This is a classic Trump move, using humor and hyperbole to both compliment and subtly undermine his political opponents in a way that keeps the audience engaged and the media talking. But Trump didn't stop there. He went on to make a direct comparison between his own looks and those of Kamala Harris, boldly declaring that he is much better looking than she is. Now, this comment might seem trivial on the surface, but it quickly became a focal point for both supporters and critics alike. The crowd at the rally responded with laughter, and some Trump supporters on social media praised his sense of humor, with one even joking that comedians should study Trump's brain to understand how he effortlessly blends humor with political commentary. However, not everyone saw it that way. Many critics took to social media to express their outrage, arguing that Trump's remark was not only unnecessary, but also disrespectful, especially considering that just a short while ago, Trump had made a different comment about Harris's appearance that seemed to draw a comparison to his wife. Melania Trump, for those who may not remember, Trump previously commented on Harris's appearance by suggesting that she looked so beautiful on the Time magazine cover that she reminded him of Melania. This previous remark added an extra layer of complexity to Trump's latest comments, with some critics pointing out that if Trump now claims to be better looking than Harris, is he indirectly suggesting that he's also better looking than his wife? It's this kind of convoluted rhetoric that keeps Trump in the headlines and constantly at the center of controversy. But this isn't just about a one-off comment on physical appearance. Trump's tendency to focus on personal attributes rather than policy has become a hallmark of his political style. At the same rally in Pennsylvania, Trump also took the opportunity to criticize how the media portrays his speaking style. He complained that reporters often describe him as rambling, but in his view, he's actually a really smart guy. This kind of self-promotion is typical of Trump, who frequently uses his rallies to defend himself against what he perceives as unfair treatment by the press, all while rallying his base by positioning himself as a victim of media bias. It's important to note that Trump's comments about Harris didn't just stop at her looks. He also took a swipe at her laugh, characteristic that has often been highlighted by both supporters and detractors. And then there was the issue of her name. Trump has a history of mispronouncing Harris's name, and whether intentional or not, it's a tactic that many see as part of a broader effort to undermine her credibility and appeal. This time, Trump pronounced her name as Kamala, a subtle but pointed jab that didn't go unnoticed. But Trump's penchant for personal attacks isn't limited to Harris. In recent weeks, he has also directed his ire at other political figures, including Montana Senator Jon Tester. During a rally in Tester's home state, Trump made a series of derogatory comments about the senator's weight. This particular attack was striking not just because of its harshness, but also because Tester has a physical disability stemming from a childhood accident. Trump claimed that he doesn't speak badly about physical disabilities, but then immediately contradicted himself by making disparaging remarks about Tester's size. It's these kinds of contradictions that fuel both the adoration of his supporters and the criticism of his detractors. So, why does Trump focus so much on personal attacks? One reason could be that it's a way for him to dominate the conversation and keep the spotlight on himself. By making provocative and often inflammatory comments, Trump ensures that he remains the center of attention both in the media and among his supporters. However, there's also a strategic element at play. By focusing on personal attacks, Trump can divert attention away from policy issues where he might be more vulnerable. Instead of engaging in detailed policy debates, He shifts the conversation to the personal flaws or perceived weaknesses of his opponents, thereby reframing the narrative in a way that is more favorable to him. But this strategy is not without its risks. Even within his own party, there are growing concerns that Trump's focus on personal attacks could ultimately backfire. Some of his allies have publicly and privately urged him to stick to policy discussions, particularly on issues like the economy and immigration, where they believe he has a stronger case to make. Senator Lindsey Graham, prominent Trump supporter, has even gone so far as to suggest that Trump's showman tactics might not win him the election. Instead, Graham and others are advocating for a more disciplined approach that focuses on policy debates, where they believe Trump has a better chance of appealing to a broader electorate. As we look ahead to the 2024 election, Trump's approach to campaigning, mixing policy discussions with personal attacks, remains a double-edged sword. On one hand, it keeps his base energized and ensures that he remains the focal point of media coverage. On the other hand, it risks alienating swing voters and other segments of the electorate who might be turned off by the negativity and lack of focus on substantive issues. In the coming days, Trump is expected to continue his campaign blitz across key battleground states with events planned in Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, and Arizona. Whether he can stick to a more disciplined message or will continue to rely on his tried and true method of mixing policy with personality attacks remains to be seen. What's clear, however, is that Trump's strategy, love it or hate it, will continue to be a central feature of his campaign as he seeks to reclaim the White House in 2024. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Trump's approach is effective in energizing his base? Or do you believe it's ultimately damaging his chances in the upcoming election? Pop your comments below and let's get the conversation started.